Hello everyone. Um, Today I want to start a series of reviews on the book series, movie, and upcoming TV series called A Series of Unfortunate Events. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is essentially a series of 13 books, a movie, and an upcoming TV show about 3 children, Violet, Klaus, and Sunny, whose parents are killed in a fire, and after that they are sent to relative after relative. In the meantime, it's really late. In the meantime, they're stalked by this man named Count Olaf, who does things such as trying to marry Violet, killing their many guardians, and killing basically anyone who gets in his path to get the Baudelaire fortune throughout the series. So today, I'm going to be starting by reviewing book 1, known as The Bad Beginning. Now, the first thing I want to say about The Bad Beginning is that it was one of my favorite books when I was like 12 and I first discovered this series. One of the things that I like about this series is that, yes, it is technically known as a children's series, but if you reread it as an adult, there's a lot of things that you realize that you missed as a child. And so I'm going to start with one of the things that I missed, which is ironic, because, well, when I read the series as a child, I completely missed the blatant rape and sexual assault allegories in the novel, which is ironic because I was a victim of childhood rape. So I don't know if I just didn't want to see it, if I was trying to escape my own life, who knows, but they are very obvious now. Now for this particular part of the review, I'm going to have to reference examples from other books, just to give a complete scope of the picture. Of course, in book 1, Olaf tries to marry Violet and he says it's for the fortune, which might be true. However, one cannot deny that there are sexual overtones to his promises at various instances, and I will include quotes in the video. He is constantly saying that Violet is beautiful. It's obvious that she's his favorite of the 3 children. Besides the fact that he tries to marry her after the fake wedding, which he tries to make real, he comments that it's essentially time to go to bed for their wedding night, which, if he was just marrying her for the money, he would not have said something to that effect, which is very sexual. And I'm not one to say rape culture about everything. I don't see rape culture in everything, but I do feel like this series has underlying tons of rape. Now, as I said, I'm going to have to mention examples from other books. In book 2, The Reptile Room, he spends an evening dinner by rubbing a knife under the table on Violet's thigh. That can be misconstrued to be sexual. And in book 8, The Hostel Hospital, Violet is unconscious for most of the book because Olaf has her drugged under the guise of performing a craniectomy. And him and his associates constantly refer to her as Sleeping Beauty. They say that she's pretty when she's sleeping, etc. Going back to book 1, when Violet is in the tower, Olaf and his associate are talking, and the associate says, "Yes, boss, of course I understand, she's yours, boss." To me, that implies that Olaf said something beforehand, that Violet was his, and that's extremely skeevy in my opinion. So, this is one of the adult themes that you might miss reading it as a child, but you pick up on as an adult. Of course, this book could be read to be very simplistic in writing style, and it's a bit condescending at times. The author will sometimes write a word and then define it with a phrase such as "a word which here means." And they're often humorous and cute definitions that if it's a word an adult would usually know. But you have to remember that this is primarily a book for children, and getting past the writing style is actually a really good book. As far as the plot itself, I think it moves a little too quickly at times. There is no indication of how much time passes between the Baudelaire parents' death and them being taken away by Mr. Poe, the banker in charge of their affairs. It is implied throughout the series that it takes place, the entire series, in the span of less than a year, because Sunny is still a baby at the end. In the end, literally, the final book is called The End. But there's no really time indication, and that kind of bothers me because there's no indication of how long Olaf was planning this before he supposedly killed the Baudelaire parents and took the children in. So, other things that you notice as an adult are things like outside of the rape and ick factor. Olaf himself is he's kind of very stereotypical of the bad parent. I mean, he's physically and emotionally abusive, and there's nobody there to help the children. And another thing that I didn't particularly like about this first book is the fact that it's really short. It is the shortest book of the series, but I think that can be excused because it's the first book, and you have to set a tone for the rest of the series, which I think that this book does really well. Now, the movie in 2004 covered the first 3 books in one movie. So it was like an hour and a half for 3 books. And they left out a lot from the book, a lot of things that kind of bothered me, and they changed other things. In the book, Violet escapes being Olaf's wife because she signs the marriage certificate with her left hand, and she's right-handed, so that fulfills some legal loophole of signing the marriage certificate in her own hand. And the movie had Klaus save her instead, which it kind of bothers me because in the book, Violet saves herself, and that was like a yay, Violet. As a young girl reading that was awesome. And I also always loved that she did it with her left hand because I'm left-handed. No. So that was a change, but I mean, that's not necessarily a review of the book. That's a change that I wish the movie hadn't made. Overall, I would recommend this book, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the TV series does with it. So, I guess that's it for today. Thank you. Bye.